Running dog walk training part 3. So in this specific session, I want you to notice how often I give him a break. So I left in my break. I pointed out where my breaks are, playing with him, pottying him, watering him. I do all 3 of those things every single time we take a break. I always give him the option. Even if he doesn't have to go to the bathroom or he doesn't want water, I offer it to him. And I've actually taught him to potty and pee on cue. And so most times he will offer even just a little bit. All right, so still trying to look at his back feet. And what I'm noticing is that he's at times will skip with his last back foot. So I'll show you some slow motion at times throughout this video of how he starts to skip as he continues. And I don't have a great fix for that other than trying to be diligent about marking correctly. However, it happens so fast in real time that it's really hard to see. And so I do end up rewarding him quite a bit for skipping. And he still at times will skip on the dog walk today, but he hits really nicely. And so I think it's him just changing his stride to get at least one back foot in. So my goal is all 4 feet in the dog walk contact zone, but my main drive is 2 front feet and at least 1 back foot. So when he hits nicely with his front feet, he generally comes in nicely with his back feet as well.
Hit it. Yes, good. Super job. Hit it. Yes.
Trying my very best not to rock, which I found is very hard for me. I had no idea. So here's a skip right there. And I ended up rewarding it with a toy break too. All right, trying to add in a little bit more speed and a little bit more of what he's actually going to see. So his job is to go around the jump stanchions, and it takes him a little bit to actually figure that out. So I have to help him to get on. He knows how to come off. This is based a little bit on movement puzzles. And so starting to get a little bit of a canter through there rather than a trot. The reason that I go for the front feet is because dogs do a lot with their front feet. They dig with their front feet. They'll offer a high five with their front feet. I just think that they're more aware of what's going on with their front feet than their back feet. However, I have done a ton of back foot awareness training with him. So this is his first time starting to extend over the Cato plank. And this is a 3-foot plank. And then I do switch to the Cato board, which I think is 24 inches, which is definitely harder for him. So moving the jump stanchions out. And this session goes a little bit long, partly because I'm trying to get a rhythm going. I'm trying to put some patterning on him, to help with clarity. But the other reason is that my daughter ends up coming out partway through, and I wanted to show her what I was doing.
Yes, good boy.
So this session went a little long, but there are toy breaks in there. I just don't point them all out.
Good boy. Was that hard?
So some people call them balance breaks.
Yes, good boy.
The mild distraction there really threw him. He slowed down immediately, so took it down a notch by just swinging one arm.
Yes, good boy. Hit it. Oops.
So that got a no answer, no reward
Yes.
there. So I'm not giving him a huge nope when he gets it wrong. I'm just withholding reinforcement. I do eventually give him a no cue or a nope cue or an oops cue or a sometimes I do that to him.
Excellent. Very nice. Good boy.
Trying a rear cross onto the
Oops.
jump stanchion there.
Let's try that again. Hit it.
That's a nice hit.
Good. Excellent. Hit it.
So feel free to speed this up, but I do change it enough that I like watching it back. It may get a little boring and tedious for somebody that's not into it.
Yes.
but I like watching the process back. I learn a lot from it.
Yes, beautiful. Good boy. Yes.
Good. I see. It's that game that we did.
Did you see that?
So my ideal goal is all 4 feet. And there he skipped with his
run?
front left, I think.
Yes,
Good.
good. Excellent. Yes, excellent. Super.
Are you gonna attach it to a plank at
Yes.
some sort?
Yeah, I'm
At
gonna
some
put it
point?
on the end of the dog walk.
Nice.
Yes, so I'm adding some of my movement as well, which throws him terribly. I can
Good.
see him looking at me.
Yeah.
Yes, good boy. Yay, there you go. Super job.
Why don't you whip out the manners minder?
Yeah, I should actually. Ready? Ready?
Has he ever used a manners minder?
Yeah, a couple times.
Good boy.
Yes, good boy. He's a little more apprehensive there. It's right there. See it? See it? This way. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a difficulty
There's
there.
the speed.
That's okay. That will be fixed with a manners minder, right? Yeah.
All right, working on directionals. So this is my very first time teaching a dog directionals. And there's definitely a learning curve for me. So go equals straight, right, left equals
Yes, beautiful.
right and left. And right and left is regardless of my position, which I find very difficult. So I struggled with the thought of, do I teach him a word that means turn into me and a word that means turn away from me? Or do I teach him right, left, regardless of my location?
Right. Yes.
And I landed on right, left, regardless of my location, which is very hard for him.
I'm not sure I like that.
And I'm trying to figure out what's the best place to put the jump stanchion. And then later you'll see a different way to teach directionals, which
Yay, good boy.
I like better.
Left, left,
And I definitely need to go back to directionals
left, left.
from time to time because they are extremely difficult for him. Adding in a little more speed,
Left, left. Yes, good.
adding in some physical pressure. He's struggling with just getting around the jump stanchion.
Go.
That was a
Yes,
straight.
good boy. Go. Go.
He
No.
jumped the contact there.
Go. Go. No.
Too much pressure.
No.
So a little bit of experimenting. What's he telling me?
No, you gotta hit both.
And it's hard because he is used to going around jump stanchions, so that's a hard concept for him to understand.
Go. Yes.
So he
good
pounced on it
boy.
nicely there.
Super job.
Giving some indication that he's thinking.
Go. Go. Yes. Good boy.
Right, so I am going to end up slowing down some video here to show you how he skips with his last back foot. And so what I found in this particular training session was that it was actually easier to hear him than to see him.
Go. Go. Yes. Good boy.
And this is on a 24-inch plank, I believe, maybe 18. This could be 18 inches,
Go.
which is quite
Yes.
small,
Go. Go. No.
but it helps me see
Go.
what is he doing. That was a nice back foot hit.
Get back. Go. Go. Yes. Oh no, you're skipping it. Get back. Go. Go. Dude, you keep skipping. You're gonna throw it. Get back.
All right, so I'm going to slow this specific one down right here.
You are skipping that back foot, man. Go.
That one.
Yes. Good. No.
So hits with one front foot, that's it.
Oh.
And then hits with 2 back feet. So it's very hard to see what's actually going on. All right, so I went back to sitting down and the cone. I'm not 100% sure why I did this. So, because it was a while ago. So chances are that I was videoing something for a student. But I could also have been disappointed with that last session where he was only hitting with 1 front or 2 back, and to clarify for him that I want all 4. So back to the Cato plank, which is longer. I sped this up because it's repetitive. But running contact training is a lot of repetition, a lot. You're trying to create a pattern, and you're trying to create a pattern at speed. And so going back and retraining, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. All right, so in puppy class, we went to adding in a manners minder, which he knows about manners minder, but this was a new one for him. So right now we're just doing the 45 degree, going back and forth. And then we build in the manners minder here, and then we put in some directionals. So when we're doing the directionals, I want to explain how my instructor taught it, and I quite like it. I want to go back to it. So if the dog is going straight towards the mirror, so manners minder is now in place. And I'm just going to do some offering here in the beginning, so just some back and forth offering. But when we get to directionals, which will be in a little bit, I want you to visualize where the dog walk is. So as the cattle board is facing, that would be a go. So dogs coming from the bottom right of the video up to the manners minder, that would be a go. If the dog is coming from where I'm stood now, or just a little bit lower than where I'm stood now, and turning left to the manners minder, that would be a left. So the dog walk is going from the left side of the screen to the cattle board. The manners minder is left of the dog walk. And then if the dog's coming from the gate, the door on the right side, top right side of the video screen, and taking a right on the cattle board to the manners minder, that would be my right. So the dog walk is from the top right of the video screen to the cattle board, and then the manners minder is to the right of the dog walk, the exit of the dog walk plank. So the cattle board's not moving, but the dog walk is moving. And so you have to visualize where the dog walk is in order to understand my right-left cues. So I'm changing sides, asking for turns. So I'm changing sides to show him that he can hit in all different angles. And then eventually turning these into directionals. In the beginning, I like to just stick with one direction, but as he gets stronger, changing directions on him. Now he certainly doesn't know his right and left cue. He knows his go cue much better than his left and right. It literally can take hundreds of reps. And you're going to make mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes in accidentally clicking the manners minder, accidentally telling them yes. It's okay. They eventually get it. There's a learning curve for me as well.